Chilly! Leafa the sylph warrior quickly covered her mouth with both hands after the very unladylike sneeze ripped its way free. She glanced at the entrance to the shrine, imagining one of the enormous deviant gods peering inside of it at them, drawn by the sound. Fortunately, the only thing she saw was dancing snowflakes. As they approached the little fire flickering on the floor, the flakes melted away into nothing. Leafa scrabbled back to the rear wall of the shrine, where she readjusted the collar of her heavy cloak and gave a single, heavy sigh. Every time she felt the brief warmth of the little fire, fatigue crept closer, and she had to blink herself awake. The stone shrine was small, less than 15 feet in height or width. The walls and ceiling were covered in reliefs of frightening monsters, and the way they seemed to move with every flicker of the light made for a very uneasy atmosphere. But Leafa's companion, sitting with his back against the wall, was nodding peacefully, unaware of and unconcerned with the eerie vibe. "Hey, get up!" she hissed, pulling his pointy ear, but he only murmured sleepily. On top of his knee, a tiny pixie was curled into a ball, fast asleep. "Remember, if you fall asleep, you get logged out." She gave his ear another tug. This time, he flopped over on top of her thighs, wriggling in search of a more comfortable position. With a squeak, she jerked her back straight, and she rapidly clinched and unclinched her hands in midair as she considered just how to strike the guy awake. Then again, she couldn't blame him for being tired.
The real time clock in the lower right corner of her vision told her it was after 2 in the morning.
Leafa was normally fast asleep in her bed at this time of night. Of course, Jotunheim and ALfheim above it were not actual fantasy realms. They were virtual worlds contained entirely within a server somewhere in Tokyo, the capital of Japan, on the planet Earth. Leafa and her partner were engaging in a full dive simulation through an interface helmet called an atmosphere. Leaving this world was actually quite simple. A downward swipe with the first 2 fingers of her hand would call up a menu window with a logout button. She could also lie down and fall asleep for real, during which time the machine would sense the change in her brainwaves and log her out automatically. When she woke up in the morning, she'd be in her bed back in the real world. But for right now, there was a reason she had to fight the fatigue that assaulted her. And it was for this reason that she made a fist and brought it down directly onto the spiky black hair of her companion. The special yellow burst of light that indicated a manual attack was accompanied by a satisfying crunch, and her partner leaped up with a yelp. He looked around in a panic, head in his hands, only to see Leafa smiling at him. "Good morning, Kirito."
Good morning."
Her companion was Kirito, a spriggan swordsman with lightly tanned skin and black hair. His rambunctious look, like that of any protagonist from a shonen manga, was currently being ruined by the pout on his lips.
"Was I sleeping?"
"On top of my legs. You should be grateful I only punched you once."
"I'm sorry. If you want, you could take a nap on mine."
"No, thank you." She turned her head to the side and glanced at Kirito out of the corner of her eye. "If you're done being an idiot, maybe you could share the brilliant escape plan you formulated in your dreams."
"In my dream? Oh, yeah. I almost got to that giant pudding a la mode."
It was stupid of me to expect anything better, she thought, slumping her shoulders. She looked to the shrine entrance again, but the only thing she saw amid the darkness was the flurry of snow dancing on the wind. Leafa, Kirito, and the sleeping pixie Yui were trapped deep at the bottom of Jotunheim, and they couldn't make their way back to the surface. This was the reason they couldn't just log out.